Commission to order. Roll call, please.
Bill Snyder,
Here.
Derry Hutcherson.
Here.
Looks like Tim Denning is absent. Owen Cross,
Here.
Tom Rolette,
Present.
Lenny Fryman,
Here.
Anthony Abbott,
Here.
Attorney Del Weldon,
Here.
and myself.
Everyone get a chance to review the minutes? We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Staff report tonight?
I'm going to ask Mr. Weldon to weigh in for a staff report.
Is that specific to what's on the docket for today?
Yes, yes.
We can just get right into the presentation.
Okay.
Ready to go. New business? Do we have a representative for the Walnut Street project? in attendance? Step forward, please.
Hey, good afternoon. Kendall Bales, Maxwell Construction, just here on behalf of the applicant. We're the contractor, design builder for the project. Land Consultants did our engineering and submittal that you have in front of you, and here to answer any questions you might have.
One of my first questions, and may be relevant, is on the front sheet, G001, there's no owner listed, for one, but there is on the next one that we have in our docket. But also down at the bottom, it's got Utility Director Billy Kennan. I know that's irrelevant.
We'll get it fixed. We'll get it fixed, and the owner is Encompass Healthcare.
Okay, now, first question I would have would be for Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Is this levy district or levy, what is this zone, this area?
This is zoned LB levy business. We got to this point because it is in the levy overlay district,
Okay.
which
That's on
allows
54, 20,
21.
I think so, yeah, okay.
I had a printout still in my office. I can grab it if you need it.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but levy overlay district allows for all uses. And that's how we got to this point.
Okay, so when I looked into the plots or the lots.
Yes,
There are two of those that are listed as residential and one as commercial.
was that on Dearborn County Beacon?
Yes, it was.
That was their prior uses.
So it
When-
has been changed to,
Our zoning is different from the Beacon. Our zoning is currently levy business for the area.
okay, that's what I need to know.
So the whole thing is levy business, all three
That's the
parcels?
district that it's in, yes.
Okay, levy overlay, don't we have to vote on that for it to be that?
Levy overlay is everything within the levy and south of US 50.
But doesn't this board have to vote on it to use levy overlay?
No, it's an existing overlay district, was put in place in 2003. And the bounds are, as I mentioned.
Okay, in the levy overlay district, what can you use? Apartment buildings, duplexes, single homes,
Any use within the code book,
in the code book,
yes.
anywhere?
This would be under the LR2, levy residential, that being an 8-unit multifamily house.
LR2, that is on, where's LR2 at?
There's a lot of it over by you.
So I thought, and that's only duplexes.
That's duplex up to multifamily, yes. LR1 is single and duplex.
Yeah, it's all listed in 15421, so.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm following. I didn't realize that it was LB already.
Yes.
And when I looked at it on Beacon, which I don't know why they would not change that, because
They don't recognize our zoning. They list it as what it was before. There were 2 single-family houses there before, and then I think it was Joey's.
Yeah, but Joey's would have been a commercial. 'cause
Correct.
It would have been a business, that's why I seen that.
Yeah.
Well, there was also, laundromat was there, Nichols Laundromat, that's one parcel.
That would
Right.
be the one that the LRC owns.
Right.
Yeah,
And they're not using that one.
they're not, right. Okay, my next question would be then, looking at the blueprints, there is a wall out front. What is the wall for?
Let me find, where do you see it on the,
Out on the front.
It's already existing. That'll be tore
An
out,
existing wall?
yes. I think it was the old front wall of the pizza place, or something like that.
So this is not going to be a wall that's up above the ground, so to speak?
No, sheet A 2.0 shows kind of what it's going to look like from the front. It should be the second sheet from the back.
Why are we building a wall there?
How will this,
When I did see the concrete for the signage, I figured out that was for the arch.
how will this affect the baseball fields down there in the parking?
It won't affect it, it's all on-site parking. There's 8 units with 8 covered and 8 uncovered parking spaces.
Okay, is this the similar as the ones that are built on Elm Street now? There's one on Elm and one on corner of Elm. and
Those are
Center.
more apartment blocks, aren't they? Those are like big stand-up.
Yeah.
This is, if you look at C101, they've got extra wide parking spaces that lead into garages.
Okay, because that was one of my
So
questions.
each unit will have 2 parking spaces, and it's all within the site.
Well, from what I've seen of these other ones that are in town is they don't use their parking spaces. They use the street parking.
So they're all.
And this, I'm afraid they're gonna use the Babe Ruth and Little League parking. No, it's not Babe Ruth anymore, it's all Little League.
We can encourage, the owner can encourage
The
them.
houses that are in here, in town now, the one on Elm and Center and the one
I'm not sure.
on Elm.
I'm not sure with what the ones you're talking about. I don't have those in my head.
So
I'm
go
try-
back to the parking.
Yes.
Is the parking in the rear of the apartments underneath, so to
Correct.
speak?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the apartment sizes? I didn't see that in there. If I missed it, I apologize.
I don't have it off the top of my head. I could probably get it. They're 2-bedroom apartments. Some of the units on the first floor will be ADA accessible. We have to have so many that are ADA accessible. But
And is this going to be a duplex? Is there going to be one in the ground and one on top, or is it going to be 2 on top?
4 and 4, so they'll be stacked.
Okay.
There's a small community room in the middle, also for them to share and use. And laundry facilities, I believe we've put in each unit rather than having a central one.
What's the qualifications for the ones that are going to move into these apartments?
I don't know the answer to that question. Just the builder,
Well, will they
designer.
be the same as the other apartments? You know,
What other apartments?
The other community mental health apartments. This is community mental health, right?
This
That
is
owns this?
Encompass Healthcare, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked why their owner wasn't listed on there, because it would have been nice.
It is
to
listed
see
in
it
a few
was
places.
Encompass.
So if it's, I'd just like to know, is it the same qualifications as the other ones that are here in town? For the people that move in?
I'll say our scope on this needs to be just the building itself.
No, our scope is also how it affects the neighbors. That's why it's.
What was the question?
Business, not levy overlay. Overlay is just a way to cheat over everything.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What's the requirements for the people that are going to move in here? Is it the same as the other ones that are in town?
No, it's a different program. I'm Greg Duncan. I'm the CEO of Encompass. This is Bridget Bascom, Division Director of the actual program. No, this is for families where the adult is in recovery, so they've been through treatment and what have you, and so it's family reunification. It's getting them back on their feet to be able to live productive lives. So they're different than than residents that are in some of our other programs.
So they will not be permanent residents, they'll just be there rehabbing?
No, they've already gone through rehab. They've already done like any sort of judicial stuff and what have you. This is now to go live your life, so to speak. It's not permanent housing though, right? In the
No.
sense of
No, it's to help them get back on their feet. There's an employment expectation, so there is the belief that then they will save money, and if they want to move into additional,
Into the-
buy a
into
house down
community
the
or
road
whatever.
or something. But these folks meet thresholds and outcomes in treatment and have, through regular drug screens, through treatment, attendance, it's closely monitored, and so they have to meet criteria to be eligible to even live in this, bypassing those expectations.
And it's strictly for families, so like single people will not live there. There has to be kids, because it's the idea of reunifying if they were taken away, or if they've always been together and what have you. It's to make sure they don't get separated. So that's why we want it by a school, so the kids can get to school and what have you.
And dependent children, it would be children under the age of 18.
Yeah.
Buying pizza.
Are there lifestyles in other places?
So this particular, it's a grant through the state. It's through, I can never remember what the actual nomenclature, it's IHCDA, so Indiana,
Housing Authority.
there. And there's 4 regions, and then there was a 5th, like a wild card where they could place anywhere. So there's 5 of us that got these grants that will be implementing something similar to this throughout the state. So I can't say that, there's nothing in our region, so I don't really know what's going on, like maybe in northern Indiana or something. I'm sure there's ones they didn't make up the model themselves, so it does exist in other parts of the country and what have you, but this is new to us.
I will add that the agency, in partnership with St. Elizabeth and other care providers in the community, did a needs assessment, and family housing was a strong need for our community, which strengthened our application.
Right.
Because it is very limited and almost cost prohibitive to live in apartment complexes or townhouses, which these are more like townhouses. They will look very similar to the existing block, the houses that are there that sit together, so.
And we tried to not stand out as being an apartment building, tried to make it look nicer. So.
But there will be nothing on the bottom level of this, street level, I should say, where it would be for office buildings or anything like that. It would be all apartments.
No, they'll have that common area that I spoke about is about the only thing.
And one thing, just for the record, this as well as you guys are tax exempt, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we have multiple in this area now from Encompass that are also tax exempt as well. So this would just be another one as well.
Yes.
With communication I've had with former students and parents, I understand where the need.
And the location was prime, ideal for that purpose, because it is close to the various schools, so that parents can participate in school activities and be more actively present in their student and advocating for their needs in the school district and those services too. So also has the features of being very close to recreational activities, the community center where there's free Wi-Fi assistance if needed. It's just a prime location that really puts us on a map for something positive for our community.
Under the guidance that you all, like you said, you're going to be monitoring the situation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we won't have staff there 24/7, but we'll have staff going in there. That's why there's also that community room, so that there could be some groups if need be and what have you, but we'll have staff working with those clients all the time, because we want them to be successful and graduate and move into the community in like a regular, their own housing and what have you.
Have you got, I know it's new, but have you got like local people actually looking into this right now, or is it just something that after you build it, then you're going to have people apply to come in, or
Yeah, once
you got people in mind already?
we don't have individuals already picked out and what have you. We have criteria and what have you. We'll be working with, local court systems and what have you to identify and treat. And, we have people that are also in treatment and what have you that may be ready to move into something like that that's much more, it requires more responsibility. They're ready to handle that. But do we have anybody identified today to move in? No.
No.
We don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Yeah, I understand that.
Now, where you're going to be building that, there's a business on one side and a business on the other side of it, isn't there? Insurance company, realty company, and they'll be using everything in between that.
Except for the redevelopment lot.
They're not using the redevelopment lot?
No, it's still vacant.
Is there any plans in the future to use that redevelopment lot?
Not that I'm
Because, well,
currently aware of.
Don't need it.
there's not much to that lot, so I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
33 footer.
Yeah, minimum.
You could just give it to us. If you want. We'll landscape it for you and what have you, but we didn't need that extra spot because we were able to get it all fitting on the slots that we already have.
So that lot slopes way down at an angle, and you guys gonna be building a building. How far above
It's about 10 feet.
sidewalk level is the building?
We put it just, so we have to have ADA access, so it'll be a normal flat, decent slope right up into the building. No ramps or anything, nothing crazy. And then we'll evaluate whether the basement is gonna be all the way out to the front of the building, and there'll be parking and some storage underneath. But right now, it's just shown to just have parking garages on that back half, and then we'll have
Stairwell.
a flat slab on grade or crawl. We won't do crawl space, we don't like crawl spaces, but.
Will there be any elevators in here?
No elevator, but there will be a stair that connects the parking all the way up to the second floor.
The ADA ones would be on the first floor.
Well, if there's no other questions from the board, Your Honor, I'd like to hear from the public or residents, if there's any.
Next on the list, anybody else have any? Any board members or audience?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone from the audience?
You want to go up and say right
Sure, come on up so we can see you.
How are you?
State your name, please.
Karen Shields, and I own the office, State Farm Insurance. So I'm concerned about the parking. So I've been on this street for 29 years, and I'm worried about our clients getting in and out. You know, years ago when you guys redid the street, you guys had it at a parallel park, not a parallel, by the way, they'd come in and out. And I talked to you guys, and you said, okay, let's have them, 2 and 2, which was great. And now I'm worried, I'm concerned, I shouldn't say more, I'm concerned that with this extra, people coming on the street, there's going to be limited parking. And I have 5 employees who are conducting business, who are trying to bring in business, trying to work, and if there's no parking and people can't get to us, my people are parking in the back anyway. We have back, so that everybody parks back there. We're worried about the public coming in and not having parking, and that's my concern. I understand they're going to have parking around the back of this new, but if they can still park up front, I'm afraid they're going to take my parking. So all I'm asking is, can I have some sort of sign that says Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, State Farm? Other than that, I don't care. That's all I don't care. But Monday through Friday, these 2 spots are State Farms. That's all I'm asking.
That's illegal.
And this commission couldn't have it.
No? How come other people can have that? How come I see that?
You're not allowed to take public parking and make it strictly for one person. We can't do handicap parking that way. We put a handicap parking spot there, but we can't say John Doe's the only one who parks here.
Because you make the comment, you've seen other people do that. You have an example.
I see it in parking, for example, Crestview Mall, when you go into their parking, you see it.
That's
Oh, maybe that's why, okay. So I don't know, that's my concern as a business owner, what about the parking?
I'm
That's,
really curious, how does Mass work for you?
it is awful.
Not very well.
It's awful. It's awful. We all park in the back.
I go by and see it, I pray for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And I'm Catholic too, so I pray for myself, so. But yeah, I'm just concerned about the parking, that's my concern, so.
I don't know if you could speak with them, and maybe once this is all up and running, so to speak, that they could speak with their tenants and try to work with you.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Be the only thing I know to tell you.
I can tell you it doesn't work that way in the other apartment buildings.
No.
They use the street parking. They got a parking lot behind the buildings, they don't even use it, except for the cars that don't run.
Might be able to talk to city council about timed parking,
That's what I mean, like timed parking, yeah.
That's why I said it's not this
not per
commission that can
person,
do
but
that.
for, 90 minutes.
Could be,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
How do you regulate the 90 minutes?
you put a parking meter.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement. Yeah, he'd be happy.
So that would be that would be great. That's all I'm asking is between working hours, Monday through Friday, if we could have just State Farm. Other than that, park away, I don't care.
Bring back the parking meter.
Most I can offer is I will send an email. And
Okay, well, thank you.
Well, we do appreciate your business and you coming forward and asking something.
Well, thank you.
That's wonderful. We want you to be happy here as a business person, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring in another person. I'm like, where are they going to park now? I mean, I want to hire another person.
You've got a lot of intelligence up here. So I'm
Yeah,
sure that-
I know Derry too. Yeah. All right, well, thank you.
He's talking about you, Derry.
Please excuse the big guy down there.
Anyone else from the audience? Yes? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm always. Come on up.
State your name, please.
Haven't got to the podium yet, or I would.
Just letting you know before you get there.
My name's Lisa Barker. I own the real estate company that can't operate because we've got parking in front of it every day, all day, every day through the week. It's been a real issue. Parking is an issue in that area of the street. Lawrenceburg has not addressed it. We have talked about it in the past. I was asking for a time limit on the parking to prevent teachers from parking there all day. I was told to be careful what I asked for because then my Airbnb business might be affected by people who might park there. So my question is, number one, I understand that this new venture has parking in the rear, but will they still be allowed to park on the street like everyone else?
You have to be allowed. It's public parking, so
So with that many residents, you're required to have so many parking spaces. Are those parking spaces provided? And does the building owner plan to make it mandatory that their people park in their designated spots? I know the city can't do it, but are the owners going to do it? That's what I would like to hear.
they do have the minimum standard for parking. It's two
Oh.
spaces per unit.
I'd like to hear from them if I could.
Yeah, obviously I can't ever promise that someone's not gonna park in a public parking spot, but we are gonna strongly encourage. And I would imagine, based off the clientele we have, that there's not going to be, our parking lot's never gonna be full with cars, because there's just not gonna be a lot.
Is it going to be your policy that in order to live in our facility, this is your parking space? That's what I'd like to hear from you.
I cannot make that guarantee to you. We will strongly encourage and say, this is your spot and we want you to park there. But again, it's a public parking spot, so we can't all of a sudden kick them out because they're parking in a public spot. But we are 100%, just like we would work with State Farm, we'd work 100% work with you guys as well to ensure that our residents were parking where they're supposed to park. But again, if it's a public parking spot, I can't kick them out because they're parked in a public parking spot.
Will each tenant know where they're supposed to
Yes,
park?
oh, absolutely.
The point is, I've owned that building now for, who knows, a long time, as you know, 2002 or something. I don't know. It's been a long time. And I've never been able to utilize it as my business because Lawrenceburg's never addressed the parking issues. Never. My taxes go up every year. I pay more taxes on Walnut Street than any other person on Walnut Street. And I have a house, a 1930 house. And my taxes went up to over $4,000. Like, really? And I can't even allow people to park. So all we're doing is, and I have no problem with somebody utilizing their property the way they want to. But I don't think it could really affect me because there's already somebody parking there all the time. It's only going to add to Lawrenceburg's problem of not being able to park for the businesses that are already there. And until you guys sit down and address that, it's not going to be fixed. Yes, we have Mass. Yes, we have school. Yes, we have all of these things. The school has parking in the rear. They choose to park in the front. It's fewer steps to their classroom. Have I had the conversation with the Catholic churches? Multiple times. It lasts for about 2 weeks, and then it all comes back. So I think Lawrenceburg needs to get a grip with what they have in that section of town and really discuss it and talk about it in where it makes sense to Lawrenceburg. Because it's not making sense to me. It's not making sense to Karen. So all we're doing is adding to the confusion. That's all I have to say about it. It's nothing to do with whether they have a great project. It has to do with Lawrenceburg has a problem at the front of Walnut Street and they're not addressing it. My next question is maximum time to live there. Is there a maximum time for somebody to be rehabilitated, or, I mean, can it be a year? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? I mean, what's the turnaround for residents?
Well, I'll only answer the part that I know, because I have to remember. But it's a new program for us in that sense, so we can't compare it to like someone maybe on a property on High Street or wherever, where they might be there for 20 years. That's not the goal of this. This is, I would say, probably an 18-month to 2 year to 3 year sort of period, because we want to get other people in there to then graduate and move on and into the community and what have you as well.
So does the city of Lawrenceburg or Dearborn County pay their rent?
No.
Who pays their rent?
No,
They do.
they pay the rent.
Oh, they pay their
Yeah,
rent.
They pay the rent. I mean, part of this program is they're required to, obviously not the day they move in, but they're required to work, and then we'll take what that income is and do proration and what have you.
I got you.
They are 100% have to be invested in paying rent.
And is there going to be signage with the building?
We don't have anything because one of the things you always want to be careful with is we don't want to say Encompass, and then that automatically then
Stigmatizes.
the folks that are living
Sure.
there and what have you, and points them out as, oh, well, they're part of Encompass treatment or whatever. And
I was asking because I have a business there, and I don't want it stigmatized either, so
Yeah.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Another question I had, I think I've talked to John already about it. Why isn't it mixed use? I think he said you're not allowed to have a mixed use, or why wouldn't that building be a mixed use where you have businesses on the lower level and have everything up high?
Because this is a grant from the state specifically for recovery housing for eight families to be there. So we're not in the business of having businesses. We're in the business of treating folks, and this is legitimately and solely designed for that, for treating families and having. So that's not even an option for us through this venture with the state.
Well, the reason I ask, I don't know if Lawrenceburg is even concerned about it. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but I know Aurora has since come in and said, okay, on the first floor, we're not going to allow residents on the first floor anymore in our downtown business district. And if Encompass would someday leave, would that be changed so that we now have storefronts?
Well, it's own business like that right now, right? First floor business, second floor
Our
rental.
levy business is restricted to first floor commercial, with upper floors being residential.
And that's what it's zoned now, but they're asking to
Apply
do
that
the
levy
overlay.
Yeah.
So they're asking for a variance.
Yes, basically,
It's asking
yes.
to apply a different district, yes.
So would the architecture of that building be where it could easily be modified if they're not there anymore, so that now we're back in line with what we expect to see in downtown Lawrenceburg as far as having businesses on the first level?
I'd have to investigate that further. That's not something I've looked at.
Okay.
Just as an FYI, we're required with this grant, we have to run it the way it's designed for 15 years, so there would be no change for 15 years. I mean, we would plan to keep it forever.
So basically, it would have to be torn down and rebuilt.
That I don't know, but we have to use it as what it is for 15 years, period. That's what we require from the state.
Well, I think those are some things that you guys have to consider. I don't have, I brought it to your attention. You guys will make the decision. I wish everybody good luck. Appreciate the time to address the board.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Other members of the audience?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Regina Reipold, and I live on Walnut Street here in Lawrenceburg. I have a couple of questions. Number one, I would think that the city of Lawrenceburg has established a comprehensive plan for the town. I'm not so certain that this construction or building is what possibly they had in mind for the entrance to the town. Does anybody know?
I know we did a comprehensive plan, but I don't think this is something that we can not deny because it doesn't fit our comprehensive plan. It's still apartments.
It's achieving more rooftops,
Yeah.
but they're not owner occupied.
Correct. So,
Did a UDO from the comprehensive plan, but it got shut down.
Yeah.
So we didn't pass it. We drafted one, but we didn't pass it.
okay.
That would have changed all these rules.
For obvious
Yeah.
reasons.
And then, I'm not sure of the occupancy, you know, the intent is to put families in there, but maybe there's only 2 or 3 families. Do you fill up the space with other
No, we can't.
persons?
No, they stay vacant until they're used for the purpose intended.
Yeah. Well, I am an owner there. I live in the Walnut Square Townhomes, and this is concerning to me because you've had a long time to research and plan for this project, and I've had a hot minute. Okay? And I am concerned about it. I'm concerned about who's running the facility. Is it going to be managed on a daily basis? You know, is there going to be somebody there 3 or 4 hours a day to manage if there's any issues or problems? I mean, in addition to your families that you want to move in there so they're in close proximity to the schools, we've got a lot of families that walk and use that, our local kids. They're walking to school, they're using that walkway to walk in the back, go to the community center. I'm concerned about the management and what is being told to these residents. I want them to have a great opportunity. I think this is a wonderful idea. But my opinion is right in the entrance of Lawrenceburg, in my opinion, is not the right space. That's all I have. Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just before we vote. So, a couple things I think that are important to point out. One is that, and I know we all wear a bunch of different hats, and sometimes we wear multiple hats for multiple people. So one of the key factors to remember is that this is Plan Commission as opposed to BZA. And when we have our plan, when we're meeting as Plan Commission, our job is only to review site plans to ensure that they comply with all federal, state, local laws, regulations, and that's what John does in his office. So when he gets a site plan, he analyzes it to make sure that it meets the county, the city, the state, the federal government, all of the requirements that are established under law for a property of this type. And he also cross-checks that with the utility company, with fire and police when he needs to. And so when he brings you a site plan, that is what you'll see with the administrative report, is that he's gonna tell you guys first, before you vote on it, this plan has been reviewed by me. I've determined what the purported use is. I've looked at what district it's going in, and then I've applied all the laws and regulations that could apply to this, and I'm telling you, it's cleared it. It's valid, because you guys have no ability to do that. Your job is just to make sure that happened, right?
I was gonna say, why does it come to this board then?
Because that's exactly
like
why.
Decision's already made before it gets to this board.
Well, and that's kind of why I'm explaining it, because I think it's helpful for you guys and for the community. So when your job is to make sure that that process occurs, that is, I know it doesn't seem discretionary, but your discretion is to ensure that anyone who wants to build something in our city has complied with all the rules that we've set. And when we look at, and I'll get in a minute to the specific laws that are being applied here, and when we get down to the closest level, when you get federal, state, we get down to city code. And then we're talking about what is the city code that the city government has passed, whether it's 20 years ago or 2 years ago, because that has to be applied as well. And then your job as the planning commission is to make sure that that review has occurred, that based on John's recommendation and your discussions with him, that you're ensuring on behalf of the community that this project or any project complies with all of those regulations. Now, if you compare that to BZA, when someone's asking for a variance, then that seems discretionary or more discretionary, but it actually is also subject to the criteria that we're familiar with. Is it not injurious to the public health? Does it conform to local acceptable guidelines? Does it conform with the local community? So that, in a way, that also isn't just a purely objective, do I like it or do I not? It is, hey, we're applying this criteria. So that's the difference between Plan Commission and BZA, and I know sometimes it can be confusing and it can seem like the same thing, but it's really vastly different. And then the other thing just to keep in mind for this project and for any project, we don't get to weigh in on the final use. We just get to weigh in on, again, does it conform to the regulations? So whether, if they're asking to build a residential building, and whether, a group of college kids live in it and watch movies, or, the CMHC uses it for residential purpose, that is out of our concern, out of our purview. It's relevant to the community, of course, but it's not part of our.
Why do we send out notices to the public, to the
So that
neighbors? The
they can
neighbors
be-
have to have an input. And where
Yes,
do they
sir.
put their input in?
Yes, sir, Mr. Abbott. And the purpose of that is to, if you're an adjoining property owner, you have an interest and a right to come to this board and say, I demand that you have done your job correctly. But that job, again, is limited to, does this project conform to all the rules that apply to it? And one of the rules isn't, do I like who's gonna live there or whatever.
Well, that's not what we're talking about here.
Yes, sir. But I'm just explaining what our job is here today. Now, the part of this particular project that is admittedly confusing for me, and I just want to be really transparent with everyone. So what we're doing here is, in last July, I met with John, I met with Kendall, and John and Kendall kind of walked me through the local regulations or local code that they're asking you guys to apply tonight. So I want us all to be on the same page. And so that code is section 154.21, and that's in our local City of Lawrenceburg code. So that's our law. And that law was passed by the city of Lawrenceburg on December 20th, 1999.
But isn't that code that if we want to use it,
Well,
we don't have to use it?
well,
We can go by the original zoning, LB.
and that's what I'm kind of working through.
Okay.
So that law was, whenever John gets any kind of proposal in his office, he has to go to the code, and he goes to his training and his experience. And, you know, before John took over that chair, Mike Clark was there, and John mentored under Mike Clark. And so John's job is a really difficult one because he has to apply all of these different laws to specific scenarios, and they overlap and they bleed together, and he has to decide, okay, who can do something, who can't. And most of his job is conducted in his office under administrative review. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
What?
What was it?
Oh, no, listen, Mr. Abbott.
No, sure. And so most of his job is done in his office under administrative review. And so he gives opinions to people. They call us, say, can I build a gas station? Can I build a shed? Can I move my driveway? And he looks at the code and sees if you can or not. So what he's determined is that 154.21 is the levy overlay business district. So when I was just in John's office and I was kind of looking at, you've been in John's office, you've seen the maps. So they're maps of all the city, and each of the parts of the city has a different color, like blob, and it'll say this is LB, this is residential, this is business, and that's how the sections of the city are delineated. And then, of course, within the business blob, there are going to be some residences that have gotten, you know, variances to say, okay, even though I'm in the business district, I want to build a house. If they came to the BZA and the BZA said you can have a variance and have an exception to the rule, then you can build something that's different than what that area is zoned for. So what the interpretation that we're being asked to accept is that 154.21 in section C says principal permitted uses. Permitted uses in the A, R1, LR1, LR2, B, LB, MS, E, GM, B/GM, and PR districts shall be permitted in the LO district upon a complete site plan review as required under section 154.29 and approved by the Plan Commission based upon 154.30 C1 through 4. That is, so the interpretation, the admin interpretation of that is that anyone in the levy overlay district, which is all of downtown, okay, can have basically any use that is permitted anywhere else in the city. And if you look at the levy overlay district preamble, section A, where it says purpose, what it essentially is saying in my reading is that they made this levy overlay district because before then we just had agriculture, we just had residential, we just had commercial, and we recognize that in downtown we want to have the opportunity to have anything anywhere as long as it fits a comprehensive plan, an overall plan. So maybe Walnut Street's all businesses, and maybe Elm Street's all houses, and maybe the school is this, and maybe this is that. So the levy overlay district says any use is permitted inside the downtown city. However, in conjunction with that, like Tony's saying, we also took the downtown and chopped it up into this is business, this is residential, and so those districts are set in stone. So this building is clearly going into a levy business district. So then the next admin interpretation was that section G, change in use, we're still on 154.21, it says no change in use may be permitted within the levy overlay district without the prior approval of the Plan Commission through site plan review. And so the interpretation is that because of that paragraph, the levy overlay district says we have to skip the BZA, and that we have to skip a variance, because normally if you want to change a property from commercial to residential, you have to have a variance. And so the interpretation from admin is that 154.21, the levy overlay district says well, you can't go to BZA, you have to just let them change the use. And the further interpretation of, so then I asked, well, so could I just make my law office, could I just like make it a residence and I can just live there? And so then the further interpretation by John was no, because it's an existing building, this only applies to new buildings, because only new buildings need site plan review. Honestly, I don't know. I lack the familiarity with the way that these codes have been developed and applied over the years to really be as much of a help to you guys as I would like, or to John. I mean, I trust John's judgment and interpretation of how these codes apply. He does an incredible job. He's always right in my experience. But I just, to skip the variance process is unusual. And that's what you guys are, Tony, that's what you're feeling in your gut. Like, why isn't this a variance? Because that would be what we would normally see if you wanted to change use.
But to disagree with the way that you interpret all those codes that you just read, why do we have any zoning districts? Why be a 1B or residential 1 or 2 or whatever? Why not just make it all levy overlay?
I don't know. I don't know how that could exist.
But I know in the past, if you wanted to use levy overlay, it had to be sent to the BZA, and the BZA decided that. That's the way it was in the past. I don't know how it got changed.
So the reason I'm having this long-winded conversation is because I don't know what the right answer is. And I'm deferring to John, but you guys have to vote. So I want you to know everything that I know, and I want you to ask any questions you want.
Trust me,
Yeah. So
Well, and
I think
why-
that's fair.
Not to cut you off,
Yes,
but
sir.
that's why I asked at the beginning, if that one lot was commercial, which you said if I got it off of Beacon, it was changed. I wasn't aware of that. So maybe next time when we put this together and you put down said numbers, maybe we can put on there it's residential or it's commercial or whatever.
Yeah, like I said, Beacon doesn't reflect any of our
But
zoning.
I do not know that.
Right.
And to try to get a hold of you during the day sometimes is not easy. So I took it upon myself to look at said lots and see what said lots were looked at. That's where I thought they would probably have to have a variance because it was commercial. But you're
Right.
saying and it's not. It's
It
been
exists.
changed. Beacon hasn't
Correct,
done their job to change it, so this all complies, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And within the limited scope of the downtown, within the levy, south of 50, this levy overlay district applies here.
Trust me, I went through 15421.
Yeah, and there's no mention of BZA in that district. If that was something from before, I really could have looked that up prior to the meeting.
So I guess the shorter version is, what you're really voting on is to apply this concept of levy overlay district as recommended by admin to allow this parcel to be rezoned without a variance and to approve the site plan.
What does it mean
Which-
to be rezoned though? That's what I'm,
It's
Well,
a
it's-
change in use.
changing use.
That is that,
Not really.
the bottom line of
Changing
that
use more so.
levy overlay. This is approving the site plan, in effect, would change the use of it and approve the parcel as a levy overlay district project.
Yeah, which would ordinarily require a variance, but here it doesn't because of
Yeah.
the interpretation of the levy overlay district.
Yes, ma'am. You can come back up to the
Like
podium.
that same thing that you just said, how in the world did my building, which was a residence, become commercial property? I never applied for a variance. I never applied for it to be changed commercial, but you're now looking at my place with a house and a garage as commercial. How did that happen without my knowledge?
So those codes were put in place in 1997. The zoning map was adopted, and any residential structure that existed prior to that map being adopted was grandfathered in as residential. It was your option to use it as commercial when you wanted to open the,
It was grandfathered in as residential.
correct.
I never changed it. I have a home-based business. That's what I applied for. I didn't apply I never
say-
went before a board and asked for a change. But now Lawrenceburg wants it to be commercial, so now I'm commercial. And I can't even use it as commercial because I have no parking. I mean, everything you're doing to my business makes no sense to me. So, I'm just, hopefully you'll be more successful on the next one.
Anyone else in anything?
I'm gonna get water. I had a question for Mel, but he's not here.
I got one other question, I was thinking about, the roadway to the back of it, where they're all gonna go parking, is
Yes.
that right up against the parking lot of the Little League?
No, it's off the alley. There's a dedicated alley back there, parking lot.
Dedicated alley, here's the alley, here's the parking lot, here's the
It's
playground.
up from it. It's kind of against the playground.
Against the playground.
Yeah.
That's another.
Here.
Kids
I
play.
wanna have kids running around back here,
Kids play.
100 of them,
Yeah, here's the
and we're adding more cars to it.
parking lot.
I don't have my reading glasses, I couldn't see it if
Oh,
you
great big one here.
left them in the.
The
Yeah.
property line pretty much lines up with the edge of the existing parking lot.
Okay, where's the playground at?
Playground's pretty much right here.
This is the driveway?
Yeah. This is a dedicated driveway.
So it's going right by the playground?
Yep.
This is the parking lot, right?
Parking lot's over here.
Over here?
Yep.
They're coming down here. right?
Coming down the drive and
Yeah.
coming in that way.
So they're coming down alongside the parking lot.
I think,
alongside the
is there a
playground.
fence there?
Huh?
Isn't there a fence there?
I think there is.
Okay.
That don't stop them kids, though.
I run the concession for the Lions Club down there on game night. That parking lot is absolutely.
Yep.
It's full and there's kids running everywhere.
But I mean, that happens on a regular basis.
Yes.
All summer long.
It's not just because of
Yeah, all
what
summer
we're
long.
doing.
Well, I'm just saying, we're adding more traffic to that alleyway up against that.
Yeah. Playground and the ball fields.
Now, I had a question.
Yes, sir.
We had some concerned citizens here tonight bring up mostly about parking, dealing with that. Where do, if I kind of got from you that we're not the actual people, where can they go to get help with that?
Well, I mean, they are businesses on, on Walnut Street, just like me. I have a business on Walnut Street, so when my clients come to my office, if all the spots are full in front, and they're out of luck.
Not that it was the greatest idea, or if it can even be worked, or I'm not promoting, but someone mentioned about time.
30-minute parking.
Is that something?
No, I mean, all the spots are the way they.
Yeah, there's no way we can do time unless we do meters. And as a businessman, I want it, what do you think about meters?
That'd be bad.
You can reimburse.
No, I mean, I don't mean to be, listen, it is, well, you've also got the school there, and it's, I get it. I mean, I can't even park in front of my own office sometimes. I have to park down the street, and it's just the way, I don't like it, but that's the way it is, and I think in some way, it's a good problem to have, because we all remember a time when there you could park anywhere you wanted in Lawrenceburg, and now we're full up with amazing businesses, and look at everyone in this room is doing something amazing for this city. So I don't think there's a good answer, but I can say from the best answer, Your Honor, to give in that perspective is that's why these site plans call for off-street parking, so that if you build a business on Walnut Street, then you have to build off-street parking if you want to be sure that your clients will always have a parking spot. And I didn't do it, so I'm out of luck just like everybody else. They either find a spot or they don't, and maybe they go hire these guys with better lawyers than the hometown heroes over here, and better lawyers than me. Probably lose business because you guys have more parking.
Steve Evans.
Pennington and Garrett have all the good parts. No, I mean, it's a concern, but, that's, from this perspective, that's why there is the off-site parking requirement. Because we're aware of that and we don't want to put all the burden on street parking.
And in theory, they're gonna have their own parking. The worry is they won't use it.
Yeah,
That's like Riviera condominium.
yep, yeah.
Yes, with regard to time parking.
Would you step to the podium, please?
Sure. I'm Tim Shields, Karen's husband. I work at State Farm as well. With regard to time parking, you don't have to have a meter but somebody said, oh, that's code enforcement. And it's literally somebody walks down, marks a tire, keeps it on a timer, labor intensive, but it can be done. Location's everything. We love our location, but we're right there at the corner of 50. And there's no parking up to 50. And then there's a really wide spot for a really nice fire hydrant that it's a wide spot, the widest I've ever seen. So, that eats up parking. So, parking gets ate up. I don't want to belabor the point. I'm glad the Catholic Church is doing great. I think that they're coming from Aurora to go to church up here a lot too, apparently, that,
Yeah.
and so they're packed. They are packed. And, they go 2 days a week for sure. And we do have the experience of, the school teachers. We get the kids from school who don't want to park over at the high school that just park there.
Yeah.
So, parking is a huge, huge concern for us, for sure.
Yep.
And we do have a lot of older folks who just can't do steps, just can't amble about. And when it's full all the way down. So, how do you force somebody to park, in their spot? We can't. But it's a huge concern. Trust me. Thank you.
No, and you guys have a beautiful business, and I think, again, it's a product of, this is a new Lawrenceburg. This is a different Lawrenceburg than we've ever had, so that requires new thinking. And I can tell you, it's almost election season, so talk to these candidates, and they'll all be excited to give you some solutions and put those forward. So, yeah, hang in there. I think the city will adapt to the needs of what you guys bring to the community, everybody in here.
I'd still like to have an answer on how my house got changed to commercial.
That we could not answer right now, but John
You
can.
just said that you guys do all that stuff behind the scenes.
No.
I'd like to know how that
And
happened.
what was done prior to me being in that chair, I will have to look up for you, but I'll get back with you tomorrow. And I did email you today on your variance request.
But I will say, if it was residential before and changed to commercial, there was a public meeting and would have been advertised in the newspaper at that time. So, there would have been a public meeting for you to show up and say, hey, I don't want that.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, it's time for the vote. Do we have a motion to approve or deny the site plan?
I'll make a motion to deny it because I want to keep it LB1 or whatever it is now. I think it's just adding to our problems to use the levy overlay.
Do we
That's
have
my
a-
motion, to deny.
To deny. Do we have a second? Okay.
Dies for lack of second.
That dies for lack of a second. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Looks like that motion passed.
Can we get a motion to table it
Can we get a
till
motion
next,
to
till next month?
I would make that motion that we table it till we find out a little more about it. Yes,
Do your homework.
I feel more comfortable. I did my homework, and I know what could be done or what needs to be done, but I'm not comfortable either way. So, yeah, I did do my homework.
Was there a second on that one?
Do we have a second?
I'll take a second. I'm sorry. Will.
All right. All in favor of that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Any opposed?
There we go. All right, one more thing. Durbin Plaza.
Representative?
We do.
Oh, right.
Good. Well, good evening. I'm Brandon Vogan with Flaherty and Collins Properties, here representing the Durbin Plaza Apartments development that we have in front of you. And we're here to, we also have our consultant from Land Collective here with us as well on the civil engineering. And we're here to answer any questions you may have on the proposal we put in front of you.
On your plot, do you have enough room for their building? Perfect spot for it.
We do not.
Okay, one of my first questions is how many stories?
3 stories.
3 stories, okay? Where's your ingress and egress? Is it coming out on Tate Street to the complex? Just
That's
on
correct.
Tate?
That's correct.
Okay, I think I seen that in the plans. Where that's coming out, that does not get in the area of that island that's down Tate Street, correct?
No, it's after the aisle.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Okay, apartment sizes, do you have
They're anywhere between 700 and 1,100 square feet.
7 and 11?
The accommodation of 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms.
And according to the drawings, this does stay within the LRC's boundaries, correct? Because the city has a lot next to that.
It will be a lot split eventually. This is within the whole boundary of the redevelopment property. Trying to catch up here. And they have obtained a number of variances that needed prior to this.
Yes.
And those were, again, we could have applied this LO district, but they had to get that for their tax credits.
That's correct.
Okay, so going back to my question, is it going to be on the property that the city owns, not LRC's as well?
It's all currently LRC.
Okay.
It's the old
And
plaza.
I'm relying on Beacon, mind you,
Let me look.
because there is a lot in between the adult center and LRC's that says the city of Lawrenceburg.
That, if you,
Is that where the gas pumps used to be?
that's if gas pumps used to be on that lot.
over
Back
by
to
the
the
ball.
telephone pole line, where that lot starts.
Okay.
Those telephone poles are on that city lot. They won't touch those poles
So it stays with, I'm asking again, it stays within their boundaries.
within the LRC boundary, yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I needed.
Yep.
I could not make that out on these plans, I'm sorry. Tried.
It's all right. And these will be in my office for the perpetuity of the project.
Do you have a cost per unit like you did when they did the Flannery Collins up here, High Street?
As far as like what the rents are going to be for this? I don't specifically on this, we're working through it. So this is a low-income tax credit project.
Right.
It's got income restrictions on it, and it is 55 and over senior housing.
Right?
I don't know the exact rents of what we're going to have on that.
It was just a question I had.
Breakdown of 54, the size that you mentioned, is
It's approximately 50% 1 bedrooms and 50% 2 bedrooms.
Good answer.
How fast can you get them done?
How fast do we get them done? Our goal was, right now, we're targeting to start construction in hopefully September, depending on timing of everything, and then we'll be open, we should be open in 14 months.
That's too slow.
I'd like to go much faster, and we'll be pushing our construction group to go faster. They told me 16 months the other day, and I said that wasn't even close to acceptable, so they said, we'll start at 14, we'll hope for 12.
This is awesome. Oh, I like it.
We're excited about the project. We love being down here in the community, and we're happy to do another project.
Yep.
Any other board questions? Not, we'll turn it to the audience. Audience? Oh, come. Doesn't look like any questions. Well,
Are you also going to have 24/7 staff?
On site,
Uh-huh.
excited about it.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Do we have any old business?
That I do. This is a question.
Thank you all.
Thank you all very much.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
At our December 3rd meeting, we did the plat review for where are we at? For the LRC property given from LRC to the city at the Civic Park area.
We did a consolidation plat. It is
Correct.
currently sitting with Dearborn Tire, waiting for deeds to be generated. I'll call her in the morning.
Okay. Yep. All right, thank you.
I know she just reached out a few weeks ago to our surveyor at Lane Consultants to get the deed descriptions. She was on vacation for a couple weeks, I believe.
Okay. I remember the last conversation I had with you, you called me back and
Yeah.
asked me exactly what date it was that LRC.
I had to supply that
gave
to
it
them
right.
to
I
make
think
it legal.
was June of 2023. Okay. Just seeing where we're at with that. Thank you.
Any other old business?
I have none.
You have none, sir?
No.
None? Anybody else? Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, anyone opposed to that?
Nope.
Gentlemen, I apologize.
Do not apologize.
Never apologize for nothing.
But I take it way back in the back.
What? Do I owe you guys $200 or just 100? This is like a $200 meeting.
Oh.
It'd be more than that.
It's entertaining.
You gonna be home Friday?
They really are?
I've asked a lot of questions.